Hi, my name is Dr. Whitney Appleby and I'm a licensed psychologist with Cook Children's Medical Center. Today I'm coming to you to talk a little bit about navigating the balance between parenting and working from home. For many of us during this crisis we were finding ourselves working from home for the first time ever. And not only are we trying to figure that out, but we're also trying to figure out how to parent our children at the same time. And I can tell from personal experience, it's stressful. It is not an easy task. And so today I wanted to bring to you a few strategies that you might find helpful in the midst of navigating this challenging balance. The first recommendation that I have is considering waking up earlier than your children, if possible. I recognize not all kids are going to sleep in, especially some of our younger ones. But if your kids do sleep in a little bit, take advantage of that. And for you, it might even mean waking up an hour earlier than you usually do, trying to get in a little bit of focused time before the kids wake up. Obviously, this isn't going to be feasible for all families, but it could be an option for yours, especially in the midst of not having to commute. Being able to take advantage of those non-commuting times and utilizing that time to get work done before the kids are awake could be a great strategy. Also consider scheduling designated quiet hours. The way this looks is going to really vary depending on the age of your children, and those that are home with much younger children, this may be less feasible. But for those with school-age children and older, it's absolutely okay to schedule some designated quiet hours within your home. My recommendation for this is that your children, if you have more than one child at home, that this time is spent individually. And that may mean each child going to their own room, taking that time to read a book, play with Legos, some other kind of quiet toy or activity, pretend play, but really spending some personal time for themselves as opposed to engaged with siblings during that time, and doing something that's quiet to allow you to be able to have at least 1 hour of focused time on what you need to get done during the day. And a recommendation to go along with that may be having a list of potential activities that your kid can choose from during that time. That way that gives them a little bit of guidance, but with the expectation of this 1 hour is designated to you being focused on a quiet activity. You can also use this to your benefit. Plan this 1 hour time. It could be a built-in that you have every single day. Or you can use it to your benefit if you have a really specific important meeting that you need taken care of that day. Scheduling your designated family quiet hour during that time might be the most important thing for you to do. Another option is to also consider taking 15-minute breaks during the day to be able to give focused attention to your kids. Naturally, kids are wanting our attention all the time, and it can be really hard to try to balance that when we don't really have that structured time to give. If your workflow does allow it, it may be beneficial to try to specifically schedule these 15-minute chunks of time here and there throughout the day, where your kids know during this time and this time, I'm going to step out and that's when I'm going to get to communicate with you. So maybe hold your questions until then, or we'll do something really special during those 15 minutes, or sitting, coloring, or going on a quick walk, something along those lines. Not only does this help your children, but this can also be really helpful for you during this time as you try to just juggle a lot of balls in the air with work and working from home. It gives you a little break. A fourth strategy to consider is setting up an outside workspace. Again, this won't be feasible for all families. It also won't be feasible for all work situations, but on these beautiful days, consider pulling a chair up and a laptop out to the patio, if you have one, and letting the kids play in the backyard, or play on the front driveway. If you're in a home, that can be a great option for being able to supervise the kids while they play, but also being able to take the time to get some work done that you need to get done. It can help you guys feel connected, even though you guys are actually working on separate things at the same time. A bonus to that is you get a little bit of fresh air as well during your workday. And lastly, managing interruptions the best that you can, but recognizing that they're going to happen. Kids are kids. They're seeking our attention at all hours of the day. And so recognizing that kids are going to interrupt, that's going to be part of this, and we are simply just trying to manage that the best that we can. One strategy for doing so is, if you've ever been to a coffee shop, you may have seen a help wanted ad or advertisements where there's the little pieces of paper down at the bottom where you can take one and it has the person's phone number or contact information. One strategy for school-age kids or older can also be making one of those for questions for kids. And what I mean by that is, if they need to be able to come ask you a question sometime during the day, maybe there's 5 tabs for each day, and you put that up and they have to pick throughout the day, like, is this a question worth using one of my 5 questions for? And if so, then they can bring that tab to you and approach you at that time. This strategy gives them a sense of structure, but it also gives them the opportunity to consider whether their question they have and the interruption that they are going to make is really worth it, because they only get 5 for the day. Again, this is going to be a strategy better for older kids rather than the little bitty ones, but just wanted to pass that along as another option as well. So last but not least, this is less of a strategy and more of an encouragement to parents. In talking with families these last few weeks, I'm continually hearing similar things. One is that families are finding themselves quite stressed in balancing this and navigating this balance of parenting and working from home. But also, a lot of parents are also feeling really guilty. Guilty that they're having to focus on work and not really being able to focus on their kids at this time. And my encouragement to you today is, remember that really good work that you're doing. This is not an easy task. This is a new task for many of us. And I really encourage self-compassion. And what I mean by that is, if you wouldn't say that to another friend or coworker, don't say it to yourself. And so we are truly all doing the best that we can during this time. Focus on the things that you are doing well and navigating this balance. And remember that there's no such thing as perfect in the midst of all of this. And I hope that these strategies in some way, even if just one might be helpful, I hope they give you a sense of encouragement, but also maybe give you new tools and strategies to apply in your home during this time of navigating the balance of working from home and parenting. Thanks so much, and you guys have a great day today.